Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Ozone and we're on the Vault Hunters Friends SMP. In the last episode I had some pretty decent progress with knowledge stars, and in between episodes, well, not so much has happened. I got some digging done though, and working toward expanding the base. And of course, wouldn't you know it, I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and that is to make a very flat passageway or room. And so I've had to come back in here and change it up and add some elevation change because I really, really want elevation change throughout the base. I think it just adds so much interest. Now, this room over here has a really beautiful sunrise. We'll have to get to that in a minute. But it's mostly done. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with it, but I kind of just started digging in this way and found that it looked out over the side here and just kept going with it and made a room out of it. I'm also trying to get a whole bunch of villagers to lose their jobs because when I picked them up, they had a job. And these guys, that's one of the bugs of easy villagers is they tend to really, really latch onto their workstations. And so even though there's just no chance that they can pathfind to their workstations, they still remember them. But that's a different problem for later on, I guess. Now this way, I wanted to, again, I started out making it very, very flat, and then I decided to go up with it. And I ran into this big interior cave in the middle of the mountain that I didn't actually know was here. And I think this is going to be a really neat vantage point for the room to look out over. And it goes down quite far. I might try to put a room really far down, but for right now, well, this is still a rough opening that I've got to fix later on. But I'm feeling good about the base expansion. What I'm not feeling good about is all of my workstations over here just really cluttered and clustered together. So I'm definitely going to be rearranging these things in this episode. I've got a plan, sort of, and I've got to work it out. And the other thing I've been really, really busy with is working with Easy Villagers. Because look at this. This is why I got into Easy Villagers. 14 name tags. That's a real pain to get. And you can get them from the clerics, but it's like 20 emeralds each. So that's why I've got a cleric over here and the zombie converter and stuff like that. But none of them that I've leveled up offer name tags. I'm on my 4th librarian, and even that one still doesn't do name tags. So I'm struggling to try to get one that gives me the name tag so that I can finish my crystal here. It's pretty annoying, honestly. Now, one of the things that happened while I was gone is that Yo-Yo came in and decided to move the lava generator back where it could be used. And so all we got to do is push the button, and that's going to fill it up and send it into the system. Now, like we talked about before, is that when you put a bucket of lava into the diamond generator here, it actually consumes the entire bucket. So to compensate for that problem, we just made lots of buckets. I say we. Yo-Yo just made lots of buckets, and it works really, really well. The button triggers that block, which triggers this modular router. Its redstone mode is high, so it's not going to do anything. But yeah, pretty good setup, and all in all, it works out really well. So I'm going to put a door there eventually when I finish the hallway. As far as the hallway goes, I really don't want to make it be the same checkerboard pattern, and I haven't decided what to do about it yet either. So that's still a work in progress. I did follow the same pattern on the room in here. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in here. I think I might move all the villagers in here, and I think I might move my my animal pens in here too. I think that'll work. And somebody is going to be really annoyed that this is off center, but that's okay. Rooms don't always have to be centered. But one trick that I learned a while ago is that these guys are like really, really attached to their workstations. But if you take them back to the same general area, they'll lead you to the workstations if they're still available. And if they're not, maybe they'll just change right back. So for right now, I want to get back to my old house because this is the village that we stole all the villagers from. And I think that if I let these guys go here, they might tell me where their workstation is. It's a little early in the day, but I'm going to try that anyway. Ah, this guy lost his job because his workstation is no longer there, apparently. So that's great. We're going to try to chase these villagers around and see where they go to. And then if they do go to their job, or when they do go to their job, then I'm going to break their job workstation and make them lose their job. So that is one way to make them forget eventually. But it is a hassle because you gotta like bring them back to wherever you got them from. Yep, everybody's going back to their jobs, I think. Ah, here's another guy that has forgotten his job successfully. Awesome. And you, that one? Yay! Oh, now you took that one. All right. Hey, come back here. I need you. I need you not to have a job. And you apparently like that guy. Very good. Yay! It worked. It's a really minor thing. It's not all that hard, but at the same time, they should just forget their workstation because they can't pathfind to it. And yet they don't. So that's an issue with easy villagers, really. Another one. What does it take to make these guys do that? I cannot believe it. I've run out of villagers and been unable to get a name tag from any of them. These guys at least sell glass, which is very useful, but these guys are all just books and compasses and things like that. It's just, I need a break. I need a break. And apparently I need to go find more villagers. I'm just not having any luck with these name tags. Well, while we're at a breaking point here in this task, let me show you what happened in between episodes a little while ago. Somewhere along the way, I got a legendary bounty, and I was able to complete it in a scab vault. But I've been waiting to claim this so that I can claim it on camera. I've had it for at least one episode now. And the legendaries are truly legendary, right? You saw that 24,000 experience, lots of good stuff. You can only get them from treasure sand or from killing a champion, which is how I got mine. And it's honestly not that big a deal. It's some gold and some jewels and stuff, but it's a legendary. I wanted to make sure and show that, so there we go. We got our legendary bounty. A good bit of gold, another fundamental focus. Ah, very, very nice. And speaking of vault things, I've got 10 mod boxes that I've wanted to open up on camera too. I don't know what we're going to get. We've got a whole bunch of mods now that give items out of the mod boxes. We got easy villager stuff, we got drawers stuff, we got AE stuff, we got thermal stuff. And I haven't even begun to look into thermal. So let's see what we get. Drawers. Well, that's something I don't recognize. That looks like thermal. Drawers, a villager trader, another trader, more drawer stuff, more villager. Yep. All right. One thermal thing. What did I get? A nullifier. I don't know that I care about a nullifier, but that's interesting. I kind of wish I'd waited to put down all the villager stuff because, well, now 4 traders. I mean, I spent a lot of chromatic steel on these guys. But I guess I will use them all in the end. Although I'm going to go put them in the other room. Oh, according to the Minecraft wiki, it's the master level that can do name tags. I thought it was in here that it said it was the 3rd level of trading. Yeah, level 3 says it can do that for... But the Minecraft wiki said master, which I presume is level 5. Let's buy some glass and see if this guy can do it. Come on, give me name tags. Yay! Well, this, it looks like, is just plain wrong. Well, all right. Yay! I've got my name tags. Finally accomplished. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and set up a whole bunch of villagers in here. Well, we'll get this figured out a little bit, but I'm really glad that I've got one guy that can do it. Now I just need to run him through the zombie converter a few times and get that price down. Nice. I finally found the original librarian that I had cured, and I can tell he's been cured once because he's got a lower paper trade, and he's down to 8. That's much better than 20 for sure. I guess we'll just have to cure him once again. Maybe we can get him for 1 here pretty soon. That'd be nice. Oh, yeah. That is well worth it. Yeah, that should be all I need. Very nice. Oh, the work is finally paid off so that I can actually complete this crystal. Goodness gracious. Vault Hunters makes you work for it, that's for sure. Sometimes you have to work a little harder than other times, but it's always a little bit of work every time you want to make a crystal, and it's always a good idea whenever you have something that you can't get easily to go ahead and do the work so that you do get it easily in the future. Now I won't have to worry about name tags anymore. Whew. Well, while I work on my next few crystals, I want to talk about the question that I raised in the last episode. Do you remember? I asked, what is it that makes a vault run good or a vault run bad? And I've gotten quite a bit of answers for it. I didn't really get any comments in the video like I asked for, but I posted to Reddit and I got a lot of really good comments from the people there on Reddit. One of the first ones, and one of the most simple, honestly, is from Metric Jester. And I really like the simplicity of what they had to say. A great run is one you walk away from. It might also be if you go in looking for Larimar and come out with some Larimar. You know, that is just a very simplistic, very wholesome way of looking at the vaults. I always like to get a completion. I always kind of expect to get a completion. And I think that's why I feel like I have bad runs and I'm disappointed. But if you're like me and you have these expectations, maybe you can learn to tone them down like Metric Jester and just say, any run you walk away from is a good run. Because the opposite of that is any run that you die in is a bad one. And I like that simplicity. Now another one from Beetle Maniac 614 gives a list. Did you complete the objective? Did you unlock any modifiers in a dungeon? Did you loot at least 300 coins chests? Or did you find an Omega room? And if you got any of those, well then that's a good vault. And it's more specific than the other one, yes, but I feel like they have a pretty good handle on things. You know, it's not necessarily one or all. There are different conditions that can make you feel like you had a good vault. Finding an Omega room is certainly one of them for me. Now, That's So Raven has a little simplistic approach as well. They say, it used to be just based on if I got anything good in the run and completed the objective. Then they introduced cards. So now if I don't complete the objective for the card, I feel sad. If I complete and get a card, then I'm happy. Well, I like the simplicity of it. Completing is more of a challenge than simply surviving, though. So if you can do that on a regular basis and get those cards, wow, more power to you. That's kind of my metric, too. I like to be able to complete every vault that I go into. And like I said, I get disappointed when I don't. Now, I haven't started getting any cards yet, of course, but that's right around the corner. We're only a little ways away from level 50. I Can Does Better has a little bit of a description as well. They say, it's entirely dependent on why I went into the vault. Like I'm usually out of carbon and looking to refill my stock. Or maybe I need something that I can only get in gilded chests. If I reach a reasonable to keep me going with whatever I'm making in the overworld, then it's a successful run. Again, it's a simplistic approach, but they go on. If I'm just running for funsies, I usually base success on how many rooms I've gotten through. It's been my benchmark since the first vault I ever ran. I feel like I'm incredibly slow at running vaults and barely ever get to the end if I run straight forward. And I'm usually targeting some specific chest or altar. If I make a turn and I'm looting some rooms on the way back with 10 minutes or more left, that's a successful run generally. So there we go. They say they like to just reach the end. Count how many rooms that they make through. So I want to know about you. How many rooms do you usually make it through? I know I'm a bit of a OCD and completionist in a room. I like to hit all the POIs and kill all the mobs, and that is definitely not good for efficiency and not good for getting a lot of chests. And I find myself falling into that method of operation too easily. I've got to really focus if I'm looking for certain types of chests and got to keep reminding myself, no, got to pass that up. I got to keep going. So I also generally don't make it through very many rooms. But that's just me, and I know there are some people out there like me, and I know there are probably some people out there that have no idea how I could possibly be this way. So let me know what you do. Do you like to clear out a room completely? Or do you go through and visit nearly every room in the vault, even when there's 100 of them? I find that kind of crazy that a person could do that, honestly. And well, honestly, there were a lot of other really good suggestions that basically all said the same thing. It's based on your own expectations, and if you don't meet your own expectations, you're going to be disappointed. So, you either need to set realistic expectations or lower your expectations so that you always meet them. And that's a fine line to walk and a difficult thing to do sometimes. If you lower your expectations, well, then you aren't really challenged. So you've got to fail sometimes and not meet your expectations. But if you set them too high, then you're going to be dissatisfied more often, and you might even just quit the game. But there is one post that really stood out to me as being over the top, and I got to tell you, Kai the Kiwi must be a master at running the vaults and have a really good team of people. Listen to this. Currently, when I play a cake vault, for example, a bad run would be where I get about 100k raw carbon. 100k carbon is bad? Last run I did, I think it was about 30 to 40,000 chests looted. I got 560 raw carbon and almost a full legendary rolled armor with max implicits, a full backpack with jewels size 10 with max rolls or legendary rolls, 50 trinkets, and around 45,000 vault diamonds. That's insane to me. You must be an absolute master at the vaults. Now, they do say, I play on a server with some things added to the pack for more end-game content. But I have to wonder also if they aren't running like the game rule vault loot at the extreme level, because that's supposed to give you 3 times as much loot. And they said there's other things, other customizations as well. So maybe that's also part of it. But wow. I don't think I would continue to run vaults if I got 500,000 carbon in one vault. Why would you keep going back? I don't know. Maybe they've got some massive builds that just need all kinds of carbon for all of the create stuff or drawer stuff or whatever it might be. That just seems pretty incredible to me, though. Nevertheless, I really appreciate all of the comments, and I really appreciate people that tried to bring me back down to earth a little bit with my expectations and say, you know what? It's really about having fun. Did you survive? Well, then it's a good vault. And it's something that I need to keep in mind more often. So thanks everybody for the replies on Reddit. Thanks for the comments on the videos. I really appreciate it. Well, speaking of being satisfied, I think it's time to run a vault and try to get satisfied once again. But before I do, I really want to update some armor. The other day I ran a vault with Yo-Yo and he brought over some gear that I wanted to try to use. Look at this shield. Wow. We have 32.5 thorns damage. Well, my sword's only 36 right now, so if I can... this is doing almost as much damage as me swinging and hitting them. And that's a pretty low roll on the thorns damage there. I think it's worth some fundamentals, my last few fundamentals, to try to get this thorns damage up. I might lose this thorns damage base. That would be rough. I'm not terribly sure what it's going to do. I guess we just have to find out. It's a big risk losing the thorns damage as the base, but the 12 damage of base thorns damage is pretty bad. So let's go. All right, block chance. 20 thorns damage. All right, 42 thorns. I've never made a thorns build, but this is screaming to be made into a thorns build. I honestly am not terribly certain about what goes into a thorns build, so I think it's time to do some research. I might just have to try that. At the very least, I'm going to swap it out for my current shield right now, though. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I can't wait to try this shield in a vault. Yeah, how's that for a good new look? It's a rather hodgepodge, of course, but they always are. It's good enough for now. I haven't settled on a transmog that I feel like I want to use all the time. Maybe I'll do that in the next episode. What's your favorite transmog? Let me know the combinations that you think work out really well. Well, let's go. Wish me luck. Hey, it's an elixir. I need to complete an elixir in order to fulfill my bounty. Or one of them anyway. So this will be great. And I think the first thing I want to try to do is try this thorns. Look at that! Wow! Okay, you archer guys are a pain in the bum, but look at that! That zombie just flat out died when he hit me. I like it! Alright, come on guys, come on. Boom, 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 boom. This is amazing! I'm taking damage, which isn't amazing, but just knowing that if I do get hit, they're probably going to die, I love it. I love it. Now I got to find a way to actually improve this. You know, what is the basis of a Thorns build? And I can look it up. I can do some research. I'm definitely going to do some research. That's pretty cool. Kill dudes are pretty good. Not doing great on the old elixir front, though. Fighters are okay. I think it's just going to take a lot of stuff. Tanks. Tanks are good. Unfortunately, I kind of hate tanks. Oh, wow. With the invisibility potion? That's amazing. Something back here. Okay, ornates. I haven't tried ornates yet. Ornates aren't good either. This one is not going to be finished. I doubt it, I doubt it, I doubt it. Maybe the ores. Probably the ores will be really good for me. Okay. Yep, this is what I struggle with. Let's focus. I'm going to find an ore POI, or a room full of ore POIs. Okay, come on. Lots of... Give me lots of good ores. No, ores really aren't doing it for me. You were my last hope, I think. Well, unfortunately, I'm giving up on the vault. I only ever made it 50% of the elixir collected. Just didn't find the right thing to loot. Otherwise, it was a pretty decent vault. You know, not a great vault. I didn't complete it, but a decent vault. I got 2 bounties done, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I got to try out the shield, and oh my god, do I love it! It's amazing. Great for those horde mobs. Well, one of the most fun parts of this is the mod boxes. Boom, boom. Looks like it's a bunch of traders and a thermal thing. A batch composter. I still haven't looked up what any of the thermal stuff does, so I don't really know, but a batch composter, yeah, sounds like a pretty good thing. Is it expensive to make? That's what I really want. Well, not particularly. It always feels better when you get something that's really, really expensive to make from a mod box, doesn't it? But you know what? We'll take everything we can get, right? Well, that was a fun little diversion, but I'm back to housekeeping, and it's back to the tasks at hand. And what I want to do right now is make this area more usable. There's a big empty space here in the middle, and a lot of stuff crammed into this wall. One of the things that I've done in the past, and that I think works very well, is to have smaller areas where like workstations can be grouped together. And I think they're going to have to go in some groupings here in the middle. And apparently, I made a mistake on the floor. Anyway, so I want to divide out certain areas to be for certain kinds of things. I don't want them to be too much in the way, because I do expect I'll be running back and forth and needing to jump over the workstation. So I don't know that I want to put them on top of tables and actually get in the way with things. But from a lore perspective, from a build perspective, looking nice, if they were on tables, it would look a lot better. So the question is, how big are these areas, and what am I going to do to differentiate them? And I could just set up some tables here across the checkerboard, but I kind of really want to set out some areas that are, set aside, right? With different flooring and in a way that's somehow different. And will this be the right shape? I don't know. I'm just completely winging it in order to try to make a point and try to get the idea across. But, that's the plan anyway, or at least that's a plan. So I think, actually, I like the idea of having a 3-block path around here, and then something in the middle. And this is a pretty good size. A little big, honestly. I might make another 3-block wide path here and then duplicate it. I think that looks pretty good. And the question really now is, what do I want to put in the middle? What kind of thing is going to go with this checkerboard? And the answer to that is, I don't really know. I could do sheet metal. It will lay out and join the textures together, which I kind of like, but I really think something else is in order. So let me get some stuff together, play around, and we'll come back once I've got an idea. I think I might want to try to use up some of the vault junk. So what are these No, no, those are ugly. At least for this situation. What about the ornate blocks? You know what? That's not that bad, honestly. I like it. We need something else in the middle. Maybe these in the middle? I mean, they'll likely be covered up by all the workstations, so it kind of doesn't matter. But that's actually pretty decent. I don't have enough to finish out the area, but I kind of like it. It's kind of gaudy and garish, but it really does a good job of differentiating it. And honestly, these ornate blocks go pretty well with these laboratory blocks, I think. This gold is a lot, but I think it does a good job of popping too. You know what I mean? Bringing in some contrast. So I kind of like it. So I think these trapdoors that we find in the village rooms will make for a pretty decent like end of the table. I have been using these iron trapdoors to be the table base, but I can't use them for the ends because, well, they need redstone to be powered. But that looks like a pretty decent table. Yeah. And I've just got some gray concrete here until I can get some more ornate blocks. It looks like Yo-Yo joined just a little bit ago, so I could probably get some of those blocks from him. Speaking of Yo-Yo, there's another housekeeping thing that I need to get done. I picked up a few compacting drawers from Mod Boxes. And these guys are really, really, really useful. But he has been bugging me about not using a compacting drawer for all of this soul dust. So let's get that done now. There we go. That definitely makes things a lot easier. Definitely. And I've got a few more compacting drawers. I've got 4 more compacting drawers, so I'm going to be replacing a few things with them. Like, I think the most common ones, like Larimar and Biniatite, are definitely really useful for that. And then Carbon. Carbon is another one that is kind of a pain to deal with. You know, it's you always need to compact it. The rest of the gemstones, though, I really don't think I have enough of or use enough of to really warrant the compacting drawer. Probably, yeah, for silk. We we can use that. We can use a compacting drawer for silk because we often get a lot of silk too. Now it's time to get things officially moved in, but that's just a little bit of housekeeping. And I'll get back to the layout here in just a moment. Yeah, there we go. That's looking a lot better. So now we're back to the tables and what to put on them. You know, like I said, things need to be grouped together in a way that makes sense. And finding the right way to do that kind of is a bit of a challenge. So, for instance, all the jewel related things definitely should be together. But there's really only the 2 of them. And then we've got the gear related things, as in like the gear that I make, and the tools as well. And maybe even scrapping gear could be part of it, as well as the enchanter. Yeah, I think that's a grouping that works pretty well. We got lots of gear related things, and whoa boy, do I have a lot of stuff stored in all these things. Wow! Okay, well, I better get these things put down really quick before I lose them. And just like that, everything seems to be done. Well, we're never really done, are we? No. But these tables are done. So this table has like crystal crafting, jeweling stations, and inscriptions and catalysts. And I put down a bunch of sky chests in the bottom underneath the table because I want to have all my jewels right here where I'm going to use them. Now, I think when it comes in the next update that's coming out, the whole thing about jewels will get a whole lot easier. But for right now, it's not that way. I also have a chest dedicated to the few catalysts that I've collected as well, because I want those right here next to these stations. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. These things are definitely like offset to one side, and I didn't want them to be in the middle of the room because I feel like it's going to get in the way with the rest of my system here. And as for the rest of the workstations, they're in a nice little line right here on the wall. the tome I want to move somewhere else entirely. As a matter of fact, we're talking about having a shared one for the server. So that's probably what's going to happen. And maybe eventually the soul diffuser will get moved somewhere else because I want to make another doorway here going to another room in another part of the cave. So all in all, I think the base is coming along pretty nice. I will, of course, continue to be vaulting and continue to be working on the base in between episodes. And one of the other things that I did was hit level 50. Look at that down below. I am level 50 now. And you know what that unlocks? That unlocks decks and cards. But that'll have to wait for another episode because we are out of time. So I really hope you enjoyed this little philosophical detour that we took in this episode. And as always, I'm anxious to hear what you all might have to say. Do you have anything to add to this discussion of what makes a vault good or what makes a vault bad? Additionally, if you also struggle with managing your expectations like it seems I do, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. Because I can't believe I'm the only one out here that kind of feels the same way. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did really enjoy it, please give the video a like. And if you really, really enjoyed it, well, consider subscribing. Both of which I really appreciate. I appreciate all of the people that comment, interact, like, subscribe, or just plain watch my videos because, well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. And I hope you learned a thing or two along the way. So we'll see you again in the next episode. And until then, remember, be excellent to each other. I'm out.